Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning if you are in the US, or good evening if you are in Japan or in East Asia or in Korea or in China. I would like to welcome you to our special session on Europe here which does unfortunately not take place concretely in Munich, but it's everything is in the digital format. Well, this very special session is on innovative medicines, gene therapy, and beyond. I would like to ask you, all the speakers and also other participants, to switch off their microphones for the moment. And only when it's on the turn of on one of the speakers, he or she should, of course, switch it on. So we have decided to contribute also to Buy Europe, since we were in this unfortunate situation that we could not, let's say, host you here in wonderful Munich, that we present a very small snapshot what's happening here in Munich. And we decided to talk a little bit on ATMPs, because I think the location Munich, Bavaria is a very good location about that. Before we start, I've asked all speakers to keep on their time limits, because then we have also some time for some Q&A at the end. I also do not know if you really have to stick completely to the time, because we have offered our only go-to-meeting possibility, and in this way we are not really restricted. They cannot switch us off. Okay, so let us start with, let's say, with an organization represented by Susanne Schirok, which is Bayern Innovativ. Not Bayern Innovativ, Invest in Bavaria. You have to help me. I cannot go on. Okay, thank you very much. I have my colleague here who helps me. We start with Invest in Bavaria, and Susanne Schirok, who is a representative and responsible for the life science sector, will give us a short overview about the activities of Invest in Bavaria. Susanne, it's your turn.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So everybody, great that you are there. Unfortunately, not in Munich. So as you all cannot experience Munich right now, I would like to start by showing you some facts about Munich and Bavaria before we go into detail. So Horst, please, movie.
My name is Greg Connor.
Too many people online.
I'm the CEO of a company developing robotic systems for personal use here in Bavaria. As you can see, it's the ideal European base for the future. We work for #1 ICT location and a manufacturing centre. Bavaria is one of the world's leading IoT hubs.
Okay, thank you. So sorry for the technical issues, but we can distribute the video afterwards if you're interested. So next slide, please.
Yeah.
So as you cannot be here, I just want to give you a few figures of Bavaria. So area-wise, Bavaria is the biggest federal state within Germany. And of course, we Bavarians like to call Bavaria an own country. So if Bavaria would be its own country in the EU, population-wise, we would of course rank on number 8. When we look at our GDP growth, it would be #1. So we would rank #1 in Germany. And as many of you might be aware, we are the leading region in the EU when it comes to patent registrations. And as most of you have a subsidiary in Bavaria, or at least the speakers, you know that Bavaria is very strong when it comes to research. We have many state universities, Of course, everybody knows the famous Fraunhofer institutes that are already that are located in Bavaria, and of course originally from Bavaria. We have many Helmholtz institutes, and the research institutes are not only located in and around Munich, they are spread all over the state. No, one slide back, please.
That's one. That's the next one.
Okay, but there was there was a slide with networks. So in Bavaria, we have several networks when it comes to biotech, and we have several incubation centers. One is located in the southern part of Munich, one is in the northern part of Munich, and of course, you might all be aware of our biotech cluster, the BioM. But I think Horst will give you more details on that. And we have a biocampus, which is in the eastern part of Bavaria, and they are more, it's an incubator, they are focusing more on the renewable sources. And now we come to this slide. So what is Invest in Bavaria doing? What is our daily job? So Invest in Bavaria is the business promotion agency of the state of Bavaria. So we do business promotion for companies from all over the world. And as Horst mentioned before, I'm responsible for the support of life sciences companies that are interested in setting up their business in Bavaria. So we support in the planning and preparation phase. We help you when it comes to location search and selection. Of course, we put you in contact with relevant people like the BioM or other networks in Bavaria. And of course, we support you when it comes to your growth in Bavaria. And our service, as we belong to the ministry, is of course free of charge, confidential, and just customized for your needs. Next one, please. So yeah, if you're interested in looking deeper into Bavaria, just reach out to me or reach out to Horst. We are happy to answer all your questions. And thank you very much for attending.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Susanne. Sorry, I probably lost the slide when from which you sent me. I apologize for that. Yeah, okay. But I think you made the point. There are some cluster management organizations which will really support you. And one of these cluster management organizations is BioM, where I have the pleasure to be the head of this organization since now almost, I think, 23 years. So I grew old with this organization. And our major focus, of course, is the biotech industry in Bavaria. And on this slide, you can see that there's a whole wealth of biotech companies, let's say mature ones and also small ones. Out of all these 400 companies, there are 244 biotech companies, but Bavaria is strong also with pharma companies and with suppliers, etc. Out of these 244 biotech companies, 184 are typical Bavarian biotech companies. So they were created here. They have their origin here in Bavaria. But there is also, let's say, a strong part taken over by international biotech companies, which makes our location very strong. It's difficult to say if we really have a major focus, but as you can imagine, the development of therapeutics and diagnostics is, especially at the moment, very interesting. And since the beginning, since the start, when we started as a so-called bioregion, I think that was a very important point. Also now in the current crisis, the development of new, fast, secure, safe diagnostics is very important, as well as is the area of therapeutics. And now I come, you can see that here that a number of drug candidates are in clinical trials. So it's a really decent number that we have here. And we are really proud that also 12 drugs which have been developed here in Bavaria have already reached the market, and 2 or 3 of them have really become or have reached a blockbuster status. So this is, one can say, when you see these numbers here, this is the strengths that we have here. And we would be happy to welcome more companies who work in this field, but also in all the other areas that are depicted here. In the next slide, I'm coming to the topic of today, and here you can see in this topic that Bavaria is not only strong in general in this area of therapeutic development, but that we have a number of ATMP companies. There are, of course, the big pharma companies like BMS and Novartis, which are working on this field, but we have a number of startups, or let's say mature startups, that are located here with us. And we will present some of them to you due to restricted time. Not everybody could participate, but I think we picked a very good selection. We have a very good selection, which will be now introduced to you in the coming minutes. So this is also already the end of my presentation, and I'm coming now to the next one, if it works. And the next speaker is Caroline Xu. She's the CEO of Vigeneron. And Caroline, please start with your presentation.
Thank you, Horst.
Which I'm trying
Hi, everyone.
to get going.
We get the slide up. So my name is Caroline Xu. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Vigeneron. And Vigeneron was founded in 2017 and is a spin-off of the Ludwig-Maximilian University in Munich. I'll get the slide. Thank you, Horst. So at Regeneron, we are dedicated and focusing on developing the innovative gene therapies to treat ophthalmic diseases with a high unmet medical need, as well as partnering with the leading biopharma players in other disease areas. So what do we have to achieve our dedicated goals? We have two foundations. The first foundation of our company is our pipeline. We are driving the product development of our two lead programs to address ophthalmic diseases where currently there's no treatment options or approved treatment options available. And our pipeline is built upon on the team's track record experiences already in the ophthalmic gene therapy areas, and also on our novel proprietary gene therapy technology platforms. So the second foundation of our company is our two novel proprietary next generation gene therapy technology platforms. And these are the technologies we have developed it to address the limitations of the existing AAV-based gene therapies. One limitation, as some of you may know, that is the transduction efficiency of the conventional AAVs. And we actually developed it now, the VGAV, based on the novel engineered AAV capsids, and is designed to efficiently cross biological barriers. And these attributes allows us to have the superior transduction efficiencies into the target cells, and also enable us to actually target a broader spectrum of the cells in the retina, but also potentially in other tissues areas, such as the central nervous tissues. And due to the transduction efficiency that we can achieve, we also can deliver VGAV via the intravitreal injection, which is quite important, as you know that compared to the conventional AAV of the subretinal injection, this is much less invasive treatment administration, makes much bigger differences also for the patients. So another limitation, and you may also know, is actually the AAV limit packaging size, and it's about 4.7 kb in the AAV. And how to target then the largest diseases actually caused by mutations in the large genes, larger than 5 kb. And this is actually another innovative technology we developed it called REVERT. REVERT means reconstitution via the mRNA transplicing. And these technology platforms use a very innovative vector approaches. On the right side, you see we can package actually the split genes into the individual AAV vectors and generate a full length protein via the mRNA transplicing. So if you, in a nutshell, we at Vigeneron are dedicated to accelerate actually our pipeline development in the innovative gene therapies and also the novel technology platforms to make the differences for the patients. Thank you. With that, I'm happy to also hand over to the next company, to you, Horst.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Karen, giving us this insight into Vigeneron. Next company we would like to present is Freeline Therapeutics, and Karen Law will do the presentation. Karen.
Great, thank you so much, Horst, and thank you for the opportunity to present Freeline today. If you could go to the next slide, please. So we are a systemic AAV gene therapy company. We are listed on the NASDAQ and headquartered in the United Kingdom. We also have CMC developments and analytics labs based in Munich in Germany, and also have a strong presence in the United States. We were originally founded back in 2015 as a spin-out from University College London, and we currently have over 200 full-time employees. If you could go to the next slide, please. So we have a robust pipeline, all with retained global rights. Our disclosed programs include 2 programs in the clinic for haemophilia B and for Fabry disease, and also 2 programs in IND-enabling studies for Gaucher disease and haemophilia A. Next slide, please. And one of the key attributes that really distinguishes Freeline from other companies is our proprietary next-generation capsid. So this capsid is able to transduce significantly higher number of cells in the liver and therefore achieve higher levels of protein expression. And we believe because of this, we have the potential for a true functional and durable cure for patients with severe haemophilia B, as we're able to achieve factor IX activity levels back in the normal range. And this really provides patients with the potential for a lifelong cure, protection from disease progression, and also eliminates the burden of having to take factor IX replacement therapy. Underpinning and enabling our platform are many things, but importantly our proprietary analytics and CMC capabilities. And we've recently shown that we can deliver high quality drug at commercial scale. And establishing these capabilities really enables us to de-risk and accelerate our subsequent programs. And we also have a very strong leadership team with deep research, CMC development and commercial expertise in gene therapy and rare diseases. Next slide, please. So I think Caroline alluded to this before, but the data in the graph in this slide really explains why the last generation capsids failed to deliver on the promise of a true functional cure. And you can see from the columns on the left for AAV8 and AAV5, they're not able to transduce sufficient liver cells to achieve factor IX activity levels back in the normal range. Whereas Freeline's proprietary and potent AAV-S3 capsid has been specifically designed to achieve 4 to 12 times higher transduction than wild type. So this enables us to achieve higher protein expression at lower doses. So importantly, providing an improved safety margin and better cost of goods. Next slide, please. So I won't go into this in any great detail, but just to say that our lead haemophilia B program really provides validation of our approach at low dose levels. So you can see from the 2 burgundy bars to the right that for the 2 doses shown for our lead haemophilia B asset, that our capsid is able to achieve factor IX activity levels back in the normal range, compared to other approaches which are shown on the left from other companies which use different capsids and also much higher doses. So we're really gearing up now. We're looking to leverage our capabilities and platform to really progress our existing program, but also beyond. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Karen, for this presentation and this snapshot that we have at Freeline Therapeutics. Next speaker is Carsten Rupp, the CEO of ethris. Carsten, please.
Yeah, good morning, Horst, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to present ethris here today in that session. So just to give you a little bit of background about the company, so we're founded in 2009 as a company, and we're active in the mRNA space with a particular focus on pulmonary diseases. So what we do basically is we use messenger RNA to link the information from the human genome with the human proteome with the idea to replace missing or non-functional proteins with a particular context in pulmonary diseases. So what we developed basically is two platform technologies, one on the messenger RNA side to really minimize the immunogenicity of messenger RNA, so to make it available for repeated application to patients, and together with developing a delivery system for messenger RNA, which is still key in this field to deliver appropriate amounts of messenger RNA to the target cells. So if you maybe move on, please, to the next slide. So we have a particular focus, like I mentioned before, and I think we are one of the very, very few companies who built this expertise in this field for addressing pulmonary diseases via inhalation of messenger RNA therapeutics. So our programs that we work on focus on the one hand side diseases of the upper respiratory tract, airways, but also alveoli and interstitial lung diseases. So in-house, we basically focus on rather rare pulmonary diseases, and for larger indications, we focus on doing this with strategic partnerships together to really maximize the value in large patient populations. And please, if you move to the next slide. So just to give you an idea about ethris pipelines, so our in-house projects that we are running in these days is on the one hand side focusing on rare genetic diseases. One is called primary ciliary dyskinesias, where the cilia are not motile anymore, and you got a mucus congestion in those patients, so a little bit similar to cystic fibrosis, which many of you may know. Another disease that we focus on is a rare lung disease, but it's an autoimmune disease. And we also look into and have a program in viral infections of the respiratory tract to basically reprogram the pulmonary tissue in patients to make this more resistant to diseases, to the lung diseases. But I'd rather focus today on, because we all experiences every day on a program that is most advanced at ethris, and that's a collaboration together with the Swiss company Neurimmune, who is a specialized company and has a very long track record in identifying and selecting antibodies from humans to make drugs out of it. And this is a fantastic collaboration that we just started in April this year. And the idea behind it is, and I think that's quite unique to the space, to deliver the genetic code in form of a messenger RNA via inhalation of nanoparticles into the lungs of the patients to express at the site of infection a neutralizing antibody against the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And so Neurimmune has identified from convalescent patients a really brilliant antibody with very, very high potency against the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which we basically transform into messenger RNA to make it available in the lung tissue, the appropriate amounts of antibody. And I think we all know that just IV delivery of an antibody has basically two limitations. First of all, It's a link to needle application and, of course, biodistribution to the lung tissue to capture and neutralize the antibody is one of the limitations. So that's the plan, what we do here, and what we want to overcome. And we envisage to bring this into the clinics at the beginning of next year. And I'm happy to take questions also offline afterwards. And you see my email address below. And I'd like to the organizers again to give you an overview to present ethris today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carsten. We immediately go to the next speaker, Christian Ellinger, who is the Vice President of Business Development at Medigene. Christian, please.
Very good. Thank you, Horst. So before I start, obviously, I want to quickly thank also the organizers of BioM for the opportunity to represent Medigene at this BioEurope session today. So this is our disclaimer, if you can go one forward. So when it comes to Medigene, we are a Munich-based biotech company that focuses on the development of innovative, personalized T-cell immunotherapies. Our overall mission is to harness the patient's own immune system to successfully fight cancer. For this, we have developed multiple strategies, ranging from dendritic cell vaccines for maintenance treatment of AML patients that are in remission after chemotherapy, all the way to excellent proprietary technology for the discovery of T-cell receptors with optimal properties for the use in the very promising field of adoptive T-cell therapy. So here we strive to generate best-in-class T-cell receptors against a wide variety of cancer target antigens for the use in our own development pipeline, as well as also for valued collaboration partners. In addition to that, much of our current focus circles around functional enhancements of these therapeutic T cells to tackle the harsh and oftentimes immunosuppressive condition in the tumor microenvironment of solid tumors. So if you can go to the next slide, please. As our early developments for the treatment of hematological malignancies are all being tested in clinical trials, so namely our AML dendritic cell vaccine, as well as TCR-T products for the treatment of AML, MDS, and patients with relapse after hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, we now in the next critical step combine all our strengths now in the preclinical MDG 10XX program, that's what we call it, to make a difference in the fight against solid tumors, and obviously to support our collaboration partners Bluebird Bio and Cytovant in their efforts accordingly. If you can go to the next slide, please. So as to our expected clinical development milestones, we have completed our assessment of the 2-year data from our AML DC vaccine trial, and we have successfully started our second phase 1 TCR-T trial, Medigene 1021, earlier this year. We expect to complete the dosing of the 3rd dose cohort in our first phase 1 TCR-T trial, MDG 1011, in AML and MDS in Q1 next year. And finally, we expect Bluebird Bio to start a phase 1 clinical trial using our MAGE-A4 collaboration TCR that we will report about at the upcoming SITC annual meeting in November. And as I've mentioned before, we have focused all our preclinical development efforts in the Medigene 10XX program on the optimization of future TCT therapies for specifically solid tumors. Last but not least, I want to point out our current partnering opportunities that include our TCR discovery platform for the identification of new lead TCR candidates, as well as our DC platform and the AML DC program that I've talked about before. Thank you very much for your attention, and please don't hesitate to contact us if you have questions or if you're interested in any of our DC or TCR-T programs.
Thank you, Christian. Medigene is already a mature company, and that is also true for Minaris Regenerative Medicine, which had a different name still a couple of months ago, and Luc Sandange is presenting Minaris Regenerative Medicine now. Luc, please.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Can you go to the next slide? So Minaris Regenerative Medicine is a global contract development and manufacturing organization specializing in gene and cell therapy. Our vision actually is to create future cell therapy miracles together with our clients. The European division of Minaris, as Herr Domdey mentioned, actually was founded in 2007 under the name of Abset Biopharma. We are based in Germany, in Munich and Ottobrunn, a suburb of Munich. And in 2016, Hitachi Chemical made the strategic decision to invest and to move into the field of contract manufacturing for regenerative medicine. They acquired and they built their own facilities in Yokohama, Japan in 2016, and acquired a US-based manufacturer called PCT, and in 2019 acquired Abset Biopharma. It was an acquisition that was beneficial for all parties in a sense that our clients at Abset were asking us, when will we have facilities in Asia and in the US, while in the case of Hitachi Chemical, they did not have any capabilities to manufacture in Europe. And in September this year, we renamed ourselves, not just Abset, but also the US colleagues renamed ourselves Minaris Regenerative Medicine. Can you move to the next slide? Combined, the company has more than 20 years experience in gene and cell therapy, and we are a company of first. We were among the first companies to move a gene and cell therapy product through clinical development. We were the first company worldwide to get regulatory approval to conduct clinical studies using genetically modified mesenchymal stem cells. And last year, we became one of the first CDMOs worldwide to manufacture a commercial cell therapy product. This being Zynteglo from Bluebird Bio, which is being manufactured for the treatment of beta thalassemia patients in Europe. And we're expecting in 2021 to manufacture 3 new commercial products for our clients in Europe, Japan, and in the US. Next slide, please. Again, one of the strengths of the combined company is really our global footprint. We have facilities both on the east and west coast of the US, in Europe, and in Japan. And overall, we have more than 30 clean rooms to manufacture both for clinical production and commercial production of cell and gene therapy products. And we're planning expansion of these facilities in the near future. Next slide, please. Again, why our clients choose us is really this global footprint. Having facilities in US, Europe, and in Asia is very important, especially with autologous products, where generally you need a regional manufacturing solution that is as close as possible to the patient. Although we are a global company, we also have very extensive region-specific expertise with regards to interacting with regulatory authorities, the FDA in the US, in Europe, and the PDMA in Japan. And this is very important because to get a cell therapy, gene therapy product approved in these regions do require quite a lot of regional expertise. We are capable of manufacturing a vast variety of different cell types, both autologous allogenic products, genetically modified or native, CAR-Ts, MSCs, HSCs, iPSCs, and such. And we have a long-standing relationship with our clients based on trust and transparency, and also delivering. Some of our key clients are Bluebird Bio, GSK, Daiichi Sankyo, among others. The company has over 30 clients in our portfolio, ranging from startups to large international pharma. And as I said, we're planning expansion in the near future so that we're able to grow with our clients and grow with the field. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, thank you, Luc, and thank you to all the other speakers. I'm trying now to switch on the, I can see. If there are any questions, I think the speakers are already there. Please just start, when all others have switched off their microphones, and those who want to talk, please have your microphone on, if there are any questions at all. Let's see. Okay, Q&A is open. Obviously, we are very happy with that. Please look into the chat box there. My colleague Georg has dropped you the information. You can come back to us and contact us at info@bio-m.org. We will channel your requests to the different speakers that we had here, or you, of course, can contact the speakers by yourself, as you want. Okay. So thank you once more to the speakers. Thank you once more to the people who listened to us, who watched us. It was a pleasure to meet you, and we hope to meet you soon again in Munich when we are back to reality. Thank you very much. Take care and keep healthy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.